What's going on, guys? Repeat here. How are ya? I tell you what, it's a special night. How about that? We'll just say that, and then we're gonna get into the reasons why. So a lot of people have seen the tweets. A lot of people seen the Facebook messages all about what's going to be happening tonight, and it's all true. Field size is a little bit smaller than what I thought it was going to be, but nonetheless, Turn Down for What Racing is back Saturday night right here at Talladega, and just as I promised, got the one and only Rick James. He's going to be here in the booth with me in just a moment. But man, it's been a long time coming. The invites were sent out to leagues like Chickenfoot Racing, American Ethanol, NNR. Then there's another one as well, kind of eluding me right now. But Rick, man, Talladega, I think we got about 26 cars going to be on the track. These guys were so nervous. They were actually out here last night practicing, working on their runs, holding their lines. Some people, from what I heard, they weren't even able to make the show. They were concentrating so much on having a clean, drama free as possible, I should say, race. Rick, 2.66 miles, 33 degree banking, the second super speedway ever opened, 26 cars. What are you thinking, buddy?
Pete, once again, it's my pleasure to be in the booth with you. Always a pleasure to be working with one of the best in the business. What am I thinking, Pete? I can't think enough about how these opening laps are going to turn out. The first two laps at any super speedway are crucial, with drivers struggling to control their race cars, getting up to speed. No stages as well, so fuel mileage and pit strategy is going to matter more than ever. And as always, some of the highest speeds we'll see all year long. How long until the green flag? I'm ready, man.
I'm absolutely ready as well. They just finished up their connection test. Looked like everybody was good. Coey from NNR, the leader of NNR, is out here. He's going to be on track. He's actually hosting this entire thing, helping out the one and only Papa Bear, who's the leader of Turn Down for What. Papa Bear actually reached out to Coey when he was starting up this league. Said, "Hey man, I love the way NNR runs. Do you mind if I mirror your rules?" And Coey said, "Help yourself. Take whatever you want." He actually took the entire rule book and moved it over. So that's how much respect Coey gets from a lot of the guys that race with and within his series. So yeah, it's gonna be. I can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Their connection test is done. They're running the normal draft package. They're not going to try out the high draft. They're not going to try out, they're not going to drop it down. They want to make sure that the packs are really, really tight. So I think we're about to see a whole lot of racing. But something that you just touched on, sir, getting on the pit road. Normally, when you see big packs getting on a pit road at the same exact time, you start to see people getting run into and whatnot. Hopefully that when they were practicing last night, that they practiced to where, let's say the first guy goes low getting onto pit road. The second guy kind of stays a little bit closer to the line. And then they alternate lanes. That way they've got that one car length gap between each car. So first, third, fifth, seventh, and ninth, they would be on the inside row. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 would be on the outside row. You've always got a little bit of a gap there, a little bit more braking area. You can afford to be a little bit more aggressive getting into the pits, but again, we're talking about 4 different leagues that are coming together to help get Papa Bear's league a little bit more recognition, maybe pick up a few more drivers to join his Cup Series on a Saturday night. By the way, if you want to know more about Papa Bear and Turn Down for What, go down to the About section. Click on the Turn Down for What league link, and it'll take you right to their webpage. Give them a shout out. Pop Bear, without a doubt, will get back in touch with you and schedule some kind of schedule a race Robbie318, good to see you. Foxhound Boss as well. ECS25, hello also. But man, this is going to be, Rick, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Of course, it's going to be a lot of fun, Pete. It's Talladega, which is always something for the fans to watch. It's my favorite. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a sucker for plate races, for the high speeds, the pageantry, just all of it. All of the excitement is amplified, and I'm so excited to see this three wide racing.
Yeah, three, and I'll tell you what, during their connection test, these guys are up to four wide around the backstretch. I was pretty impressed. I mean, Alpha York is going to be streaming for us tonight, so we're going to be able to keep up with him for pits and fuel and doing all that. And yeah, he was actually part of that, and it looked pretty damn cool watching four people from an overhead view go three wide. I'm sorry, four wide. They stayed three wide all the way through the corner, and man, they did a great job. Didn't really see anybody get wrecked out. Didn't see anybody lag out. Didn't see anybody surging. Nothing like that. So if they could do that for an entire 50% race around this huge super speedway, Rick, I think we're going to be in for one hell of a show.
It's going to be a fantastic show, Pete. Right now, these drivers are just shaking down the cars in one final session, making sure that everything's lining up right, and we're about ready to get going here. So I'm so excited, and obviously a new league is fantastic to watch as well. I want to give a big shout out to the fans that have shown up in the chat. Robbie318, Foxhound, ECS, thank you so much for joining us, Rock NASCAR. Also, thank you for joining us. Everybody watching at home, if you go ahead and pay attention to the bottom ticker at the screen there, that green and white UniFirst Chase Elliott car is available to win in a raffle. One ticket for $5 or three tickets for $10. The proceeds go to helping kids fight against pediatric cancer. You can read all more about TJ, the wonderful inspiration behind this, at morethanAcape.org. There's the link in the chat, the PayPal link that Pete has kindly put in there. Once again, it's one for $5 or three tickets for $10. Don't even bother with that one ticket business. Go ahead, donate $10 to those kids, help them win their fight against cancer, and enter to win that beautiful Chase Elliott car with the glowing underside, just like the real car. Pete, it is a fantastic prize. And I don't know about you, but where else can you get a die-cast car that glows for $10?
Yeah, and I talked to Cape just before all this kicked off, and I asked him, how's the raffle doing? And he said, Pete, we're up to about 80 entries so far. Rick, on Tuesday, we were at 40. So that means in just these last few days that we've doubled that. And you and I have put that car out there, no matter whether it's been with NNR or eSpark or wherever. And it seems like it's really, it's helped, exponentially. But like you said, it's the Chase Elliott All-Star Win diecast from Bristol Motor Speedway. The car actually lights up. It's the first one of its kind. So you could be one of the first to have it. The car right now is on pre-order. It's going to be delivered in December or January, late December, early January. So a little bit late for a Christmas gift for maybe one of your significant others, big Chase fan, whatever. But yeah, it's like $100 and something car for a chance at a raffle. Like Rick just said, $5 for one ticket, $10 for three. Just skip on up to the three. Hell, you could even multiply it if you want to. And you want to give $50? Well, there you go, man. That'd be awesome. 18 tickets for you? Hell yeah! But the more the merrier. Like Rick said, it's all for morethanAcape.org. Foxhound said he just donated $50 already. How about that, Rick?
Absolutely fantastic. And I think more people are interested in, obviously, helping the kids is the greater goal here. And obviously, everybody wants a chance to win this race car. But the fact that you mentioned we have right around 80 entries already just says so much about this community and how much they care about helping these kids win their fight against cancer. And we don't have to explain the terrors of cancer and how much it ruins lives unequivocally and without prejudice. But we can do something about it. We can help these children. And not only do we get to help these kids and save children's lives in their fight against cancer, but you might even win a 100 something dollar die cast out of it. At least $5, Pete. At least $5 will win you a 100 something. How much is it, Pete? How much is that
I,
beautiful car in the bottom left
I think
corner?
it's like $120.
120. So you're telling me a $5 ticket buys me my entry into a chance to win a $120 car that glows like the real thing, and I get to help some kid win his fight against cancer. It's an unbelievable deal. But why stop at $5? $10 gets you 3 tickets. By that logic, $50 gets you what? 15 tickets?
Yeah. Yeah, I said 18 just a moment ago. I was thinking 6, but yeah, you're right. $50. Yeah, 18
You
tickets.
can't lose. You
No.
can't lose. People watching at home, the link is twitch.tv/repeat 1975. Twitch repeat 1975. It doesn't take much more than a cape.org to learn about TJ, to learn about these kids fighting against pediatric cancer, and win that car. Earn the chance to win that car with your generous donation. And we're about to go racing, Pete.
Yeah,
How cool is that?
getting absolutely gonna getting ready to go. And Rock, I couldn't say it any better. Awesome job, Fox. Way to go, man. Um, to say that you put out $50 of your hard-earned money. Yeah, go to morethan-a-cape.org. You'll read all about TJ's story. More Than a Cape, a lot of people race with him on the Xbox. He's a part of Frozen Toes' Shake and Bake Racing. They're all over the place. She does those super speedway Sundays, and she's all over iRacing now and whatnot. Frozen's very, very popular. But Cape, he's been all about this, trying to bring more and more awareness. All of September was Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. And every single one of the streams that I did since I first found out about this in the process of the Fast Family League races, I put that car with that scroll right after it in every single one of the races that I broadcast, no matter which league it was with. Like I said, no matter whether it was with American Ethanol, NAOR, NNR, eSpark, Turn Down for What, wherever I go, that 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 scroll for this purpose has been a part of it. The winner of the diecast will be drawn during or maybe just shortly after the last what is it now, the XCFL or XT, what is it now, Rick? XLCT. Yeah, there we go.
The
XLCT.
XLCT.
Yep.
That sorry, we're tripping over each other, buddy. You got
Yeah, XLCT championship race, which is going to be coming up here very soon. The the last quarterfinal race is actually right after this race, and Rick and I will be right back live for that. It's going to be NAOR versus the Carolina Racing League, or CRL, at Martinsville at about 10:30 tonight. So if you're here now, you got a chance at a doubleheader. So just like those tickets, go on and pick up the doubleheader. Grab yourself three shots, man. Yeah, that's all about it, Rick. All about it.
We're going to keep mentioning that car tonight as well. So as this viewership climbs up, folks, be sure to send the link out, twitch.tv/repeat 1975. Let's help some kids. Let's win some diecast. And let's enjoy some racing. A brand new competition. Haven't even opened the box yet. Haven't even taken the ribbon off. We haven't even read the tag from the community to us, the fans, Pete. I want to rip that wrapping paper off and unpack this racing league now, man. I'm so thrilled for this race.
You know what? Talking about ripping off a tag and giving it and doing all that. You know, in pre-race where I said I was going to put you on the spot, Mr. James. Don't be
Yeah,
scared now.
yeah, Pete. Yeah, just a little. Well, Pete, yeah, I've been shaking in my boots for a minute now. Go ahead and speak on it.
All right. Sometime during this stream, I'm going to ask you to pick somebody out of chat. Anybody, any random person. Don't care who it is. Okay? And you're going to give them a $15 Xbox Live gift card. Okay?
Goodness me. So a $15 Xbox Live gift card.
Yeah.
That is special. Now, anybody in the chat,
Anybody in the chat that you want. If you want to scroll through, if you want to do an eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I don't care. At some point during this stream, whether it's at a height of viewership or if it's the last person that's here, I don't care. Anywhere during the stream you want, I want you to pick out a random number. My mother said get off your apple tree before your IT it. I don't I don't care. You just pick a random person, and you're gonna give them a $15 Xbox card.
that is awesome. So any of the people watching right now can send a link out to their friends and say, hey, comment in this chat, watch this race, and you might win a $15 Xbox Live gift card.
That's right.
That is awesome. That's what a gift to these fans. Not only do we get the gift of a brand new league, the fans in the chat get a chance to win this diecast. They get a chance to win a gift card. Pete, this is quite a night.
And another thing, okay, these guys are going stage free. All right, so it's just like old NASCAR. I don't know how many young bucks there are out there in chat. But if the nickname of Swervin' Irvin has any meaning to you, I almost said you might be a redneck. No,
Not quite.
it just popped in my head. No, if you know who Ernie Irvin was back in the day, talking late 90s, the winner of tonight's race here, they're actually getting a diecast of their own that the one and only Pop Bear, the leader of Turn Down for What, found actually in a diecast store around where he lives in the greater Charlotte area. So somebody in this race is winning a diecast. Somebody in the chat is winning a $15 Xbox card. And somebody in about a week and a half to 2 weeks tops, I'd say, is going to win a brand new Chase LED lit diecast. So, yeah, it's we're just getting started, buddy.
I didn't know there were so many surprises, so many fun and games scheduled for tonight, man. I thought we were just gonna get a treat of Talladega, but this is beyond special, Pete. Bring it on.
Well, I believe that they are done. Can you just pop down into team right quick and just double check that they've already done their qualifying? I'm guessing they did it group style, not single car. Just double check that they're done, and as soon as we get this going, we'll be ready to go as well. And then guys and gals out there, we got a special guest as well that's going to go ahead and give the command. So we're going to introduce him in just a moment. But for now, let's get a little bit of a prayer going, and we'll be right back.
Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for all your blessings. You said in all things give thanks. So we want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords, and most of all, we thank you for Roush and Yates partnering to give us the power that we see before us tonight. Thank you for GM Performance Technology and the R07 engines. Thank you for Sunoco Racing Fuel and Goodyear tires that bring performance and power to the track. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa, and my two children, Eli and Emma, or as we like to call them, the Little E's. Lord, I pray you bless the drivers and use them tonight. May they put on a performance worthy of this great track. In Jesus' name, boogity, 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 amen.
All right, so yeah, they are about ready to kick this off. So will the one and only Rock NASCAR please join us, sir?
I got you guys.
All right, Rock, you have been chosen by many among your peers to try to go ahead and get this done. Will you please give these guys out here ready to duel it out the command the start, sir?
All right, let's get it on. Drivers, start your engines.
There you go. Man, I tell you, oh, Rick, Rock, we are loading in. Rock, you have an invite to hang out with them and chat if you want. But, of course, definitely, I thank you very much for the bits just a little bit ago, sir. We're getting loaded in, Rick. We're about to set these guys free. Talladega, 2.66 miles, high banked, high draft. None of us here are any stranger to this. I'm ready to go.
I don't know if there's anybody that isn't ready to go, Pete. We've got prizes being given away tonight. We've got a raffle that continues to go to help kids against their fight against pediatric cancer. This brand new league. I'm almost afraid that this first lap is going to be too much for everybody on the track. So I want to see how this first lap unfolds. I want to see how they all shake it down. I want to see how they come out clean on the other side.
Well, I tell you what, one car that's not going to have to worry about what happens in the back is going to be the 39, a D-Prev 39, and he's got the one and only owner of Chickenfoot Racing, Ace Petty, to his outside. And, yeah, this it looks like this pace lap is underway. Everybody kind of getting sorted in. Not quite sure what's going on in the back there, but, yeah, we're going to get lined up, and we're gonna get going. I don't know what happened back there.
No idea, Pete. I think they're just trying to get settled, and a couple of guys must have not gotten the message.
Yeah, I'm guessing, maybe some people weren't at their wheel or at their controller, and something else was going on. While the guys up front continue to, pace it out, warm up their tires, do whatever they got to do. Hopefully, with 26, 27 cars, we don't see too many lag spikes. Coey was chosen to go ahead and host this all. He's got great internet, so hopefully that's not what that was about. Hopefully these guys didn't get too much damage, and they can line back up, and we'll set them free. All right, so 43s to the outside. They are all on the bottom line. All right, so it looks like what they're going to do is kind of something that NAOR used to do. Is on the first lap, they're going to get a chance to take it on down pit road and get in any kind of adjustments that they want. Sorry out there, guys. I didn't know that this was going to take place. So, yeah, that's completely on me. Foxhound John Fry, don't you worry about this voice of mine. I got plenty more.
We're going to be working overtime tonight, Pete. We got this race tonight at 10:30. We've got the XLCT race at Martinsville. A double shift with you, my friend, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. We are literally going from the largest track on the NASCAR circuit to pretty much one of, if not the smallest. I think Martinsville is just a little bit a little bit smaller than Bristol, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right.
So yeah, we're going from the largest to the smallest, and 50% here, and then 50% during the tournament race. It's going to be a long night, but man, what better tracks to fill it at than the biggest and fastest to the smallest and slowest, with more contact possibilities than anywhere else. So I'm good. I'm set. I'm ready.
I'm pumped, man. I'm super pumped, and I think just watching these guys going around, come down pit road, makes me just a little more sure of what they're about to do, a little bit more prepared for this first lap. Duct Tape 914's in the chat. He's ready. Robbie's ready. Guys, guys and girls that are joining us, thank you so much. Get on your phones, get on your computers. The link is twitch.tv/repeat1975. Anybody who comments in the chat tonight will have a chance to win a $15 Xbox gift card. And if you go to morethancape.org, you can learn about TJ, his fight against pediatric cancer, and how you can donate money to win a LED lit Chase Elliott All-Star diecast. They're in the bottom left-hand corner. 1 ticket for $5, 3 tickets for $10. Obviously, you want the $10 deal. Best offer there is. Get those tickets, get a chance to win that car, leave a comment in the chats, get a chance to win a $15 gift card. We're giving away prizes, and we're going to comment on this fantastic race up ahead. Pete, I don't know how it could get much better.
You know what? I got one way it can get it just a little bit better. One way. I've said for as long as I've streamed and been building a base, that whenever I got my first Twitch check, I was gonna give back. All right, and I got that check not too long ago, and I went to NASCAR.com and I bought 5 NASCAR.com gift cards, 10 of them, or I'm sorry, 5 $10 NASCAR.com gift cards. Then I went on over to Amazon, and I bought 3 $10 Amazon.com gift cards. I've also got a Dale Jr. diecast that's sitting right here in front of me. And I've been saying for the last little bit, as these guys are getting ready to get wound up, that I was going to start giving these away to people on that actually subscribe to the channel. I tell you what, I'm gonna give away one of those NASCAR.com gift cards tonight. How's that sound to you? So if you've got Twitch and you've got an Amazon Prime account, or you don't mind spending $5, go on up, smash that subscribe button. I'm gonna re-download my subscriber list either later on tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, and I'm gonna pick somebody out of there, and I'm gonna give them a $10 NASCAR.com gift card. How's that sound, Rick? Good. I left you speechless. I'm glad to see you. But you know what? We are green. We are going. Ace Pay to the outside. 39 a deep rev on the inside. Hammer down, Rick. Let's go, buddy.
We are going racing, Pete. That offer was so good it left me mute, if you can believe that. D-Prev leading away in that 39 Ford up ahead, followed by Ace Petty 43 in that Richard Petty-looking Ream Mustang in second place. So far clean through the first lap and into turn 3.
Yeah, into turn 3 and looking back on that bottom line, no issues whatsoever. Coming through 3 and 4, one car on the bottom, bright pink car, kind of touched that yellow line, kicked them up track just a little bit. I gave these guys a little bit of guidance, or maybe a little bit of advice, you could say, in their chat yesterday, Rick. I told them that if they were from 4th on back and they were hammered down all the way around this track, they were doing something wrong. That they needed to be working on spending more time off the throttle, just staying in the gas, holding their line, and we'd have a phenomenal race. So far, caution free, working on their third lap. I think they might have been listening, and right now, D-Prev's still in the lead.
D-Prev leading this one. He's got Ace Petty 43 right behind him. In that 53 right behind is Jump the Fire 88. He looks a lot like that 44 behind him, and then you've got that bright orange 5, 5th in line. Jump the Fire 88 so far holding it a tight line in that number 53 South Point Mustang. Out to the outside is K-Hawk in that black and green 81. He's got the Gatorade logo on the front, just behind that Hooters car up ahead. And trying to scroll through that, that's going to be Pit Tacky 24 in that number 44 Mustang, 4th in line. So far, Pete, it looks like it's a Ford show up front with the top 5 all Mustangs.
Yeah, and while we're watching these cars, if you want to... Whoa, we got a little bit of a wreck. You're back on the backstretch. Many cars around. One car's flying. All right, so that's gonna slow them up. If they didn't get all their changes in, at the start of this, well, here's a better chance. Now they've got about 40 seconds here, Rick, to work it in, get their tire pressures where they want, get their tape where they want, get their wedge cranked on down. Curious, who's been able to you know, work on their presets. I've heard some people talking about starting off on a preset 4 here for Dega. I've never ventured higher than a 2, and I'm on a wheel. So we'll have to see if that comes into play a little bit later on. Don't really think so, but you never ever know. What I was kind of getting at, Rick, is all those cars with the orange rims and the orange spoilers. Those are cars from Chickenfoot Racing. They've got about 5 or 6 entries in here, as well as the 10 from Turn Down for What, the 3 or 4 from American Ethanol, the few from NNR. So many different leagues all coming out to play. We're about to set them green yet again here, bud.
Green flag flies. Pete Dallas is up ahead in that number 20 Sport Clips Camry, and then to his outside in that 18 Brutus in that green Interstate Batteries machine, now to the high side and losing position. That Chickenfoot train is up front, Pete, second, third, and fourth respectively in line. Dallas about to be ganged up on by those 3 orange and black Mustangs. So far clean through the first half lap after green, Pete. Headed to 3. There's a move on the outside for first.
Yep, looks like one of those Chickenfoot car's going to try to the outside, no dice. So he's going to, his teammate's actually going to go ahead and check up and let him back in. And I think when Petty checked up to let those guys up front in, it kind of stacked things back up in the rear, kind of an accordion effect, and that's going to bring out our second caution yet so far.
Caution number 2, Pete, and the P word, one of my favorite words in racing. Patience. Especially at a track like Talladega, Pete, these drivers can't afford to not be patient. We haven't gone 3 green flag laps without an incident, so it would serve them well to just back off the throttle a bit, give each other a little more space, and let their opponents spread out and settle in.
Yeah, just a little bit of patience. Use what I mentioned to them in their team chat earlier, and really get this wound up. Again, no stages tonight. I'll actually go ahead and grab that lap count from our onboard streamer from Alpha York here, as well as Fatless Dig in just a little bit. See where we set, but. We're gonna rack and stack them back up one more time. First 3 all Chickenfoot, and actually first 5 are all Chickenfoot. One Soul car a little bit further back. Here we go again. Hammer down.
Green flag in the air once again. Chickenfoot back in the lead, and it's hard to tell one from the other, but we can see jump in the fire. 88 is now leading. He's got his South Point Mustang just bouncing off that yellow line, trying to gain speed out of the second corner. So far, those top 7 have spread out single file, but they're still 2 wide and 10 long down the back into 3.
Yeah, all the way down his backstretch. Many cars on that bottom line looking backwards now from jumping the fire in this, as you said, that 53. Many cars actually straddling that yellow line going into the corner. I would not advise that. You want to be above that line going in, because once you come across it, it's going to kick you up the track. And if you got anybody out there, you're just going to collect them, and then you're going to collect the back half of the field. But here they come through the tribal, across the line, still good to go, Rick, going into 1 and 2.
81 laps remaining in this event. Jump in the fire. 88 leading in the 53 still. He's got the number 70 Chickenfoot Mustang behind him. That's being piloted by Blitz. Out of 4, Pete. They're 3 and 4 wide. And as you like to say, the hornet's nest is starting to buzz. You can see the eye of the storm. Robbie Steff in that number 19 Auto Owners Camry on the inside, getting some love from that 9 up ahead. That's more than a cape in the Hooters Camaro. Finally down to the inside line. Pete, they are scrambling frantically to get on that low line.
Yeah, really trying very hard. You mentioned more than a cape. He's the one that's actually giving away that diecast, or has that raffle for the diecast. And right behind K-Hawk, saw that forming up. Just too aggressive trying to get down that bottom line. Not saying he was, but there were a few cars all in that little pack, shall I say, big pack, trying to get down low, and just not enough room to fit 3 cars in one space. Cautions out one more time.
And one more time, fans watching at home, you got a chance to win that green, white, and gold diecast in the bottom left. Pete's going to put the link in the chat. It's only $10 for 3 tickets, 100%. Pete, is that right? What percentage of the proceeds go to the kids in the hospital?
Every single bit of it.
Every bit, 100% of the proceeds goes to help these sick kids in their fight against cancer. You might win that diecast. We're going to go racing. Pull that $10 bill out of your pocket and watch this race, Pete. About to throw the green.
Yep, coming back to green through the Geico restart zone. Ham down, all chicken foot up top. Looks like the 39 and D-Prev might have had an issue trying to get up through the gears. That's going to allow at least 3 people to pull ahead of him that were on that high side. Everybody, we saw the 13 duck in. We saw 98, 93 stuck to the outside, and he's going to automatically get kicked all the way back to about, 7th or 8th as they're coming 3 wide through 1 and 2 down the backstretch.
3 abreast down the Alabama gang super stretch. It's still jumping the fire. 88 leading in the 53. That's 70 behind him, being piloted by Blitz. There you see Ace Petty 43 in 3rd. Behind Ace Petty 43, another one of the chicken foot cars, Pete. That looks, K-Hawk sits 5th in line, but that 44, Pete, I can't see who it's being piloted by, but again, those chicken foot Mustangs are tough at the front. Now, the Hornet's Nest starting to buzz once again, Pete. 3 wide through that trioval, and another lap takes down.
Yeah, it's going to be the 44 at Pitaki, and yeah, that was a little bit of an issue. There were cars all the way down on the, in the infield, or what would have been the grass back in the day, and one car was very, very smart about it. He knew he wasn't going to be able to get back up on track safely, so he backed it down. He was all the way in tail end Charlie now, but he saved a caution. Worm Rider, as he's out there in chat, good to see you, sir. Yeah, for a moment there, they were 5 wide. Right now, they are 2 wide. A little bit of a train on that high side, but they're not going to have enough help, Rick. Coming through the trioval, about 4 cars outside, everybody else to the inside.
So far, those Ford Mustangs have been dominating up at the front, Pete. As far as I can see, I believe the top 7 are all Mustangs. This time by 75 laps to go at Talladega. Ace Petty 43, the odd one out in that red, white, and blue Ream machine at the front. Leading this race, still jump in the fire. Blitz sitting in 2nd, Ace in 3rd, Pitaki 4th, and I believe that's Hawk in the chicken foot car sitting 5th in line. That outside line is starting to form, Pete. They've got steam into 3.
Absolutely riding along right now with the 24 of Big Dogs. We know him from a couple of different communities. Driving that 24, he's giving a big old shove to that 13 Geico Camaro all around that outside. And here comes the 34. I believe that's Alpha York with a huge run through the inside. 51 still going to shove that 24 going back into 1. They are 3 wide right now in this mid-pack.
Pete, I don't know how they're surviving, and they're not. There's a wreck outside, and there goes the 41 around in the first corner. We'll see if the yellow comes out. So far, still 3 wide at a 2, and here comes the 43 of Ace Petty. He's got a great run headed into turn number 3.
Yep, Ace Petty, he's been kind of tail end of the rest of his chicken foot guys. Really haven't seen that one up there the most. He's kind of a standout where the rest of his guys are they're orange rimmed and orange fin on the back, where he's rocking his old Petty blue colors, and it just looks like an orange parade from the first through about 6th position.
You just can't miss it, Pete. You could see it from space if they asked you to do it. 73 laps to go, still top 5, top 6, all Mustangs, and then you've got 2 more Mustangs battling for 8th. It's been a single file procession so far, but let's not forget these drivers will have green flag pit stops. They will not be saved by stage cautions. They've got just less than 15 laps of fuel remaining if they make it that far without a yellow. They're starting to bunch up on that inside line, Pete. The outside is steady and starting to gain momentum out of 4. It'll be 72 to go this time by.
Yeah, a little bit of lobby instability right there. It looks like everybody was able to hold on to it. I'm guessing we are actually the only ones that saw that. But I guess they all kind of heard Rock out there in chat and heeded his advice, saying, settle down, drivers. So far, so good. Yeah, they're door-to-door, 3 and 4 wide in some spots. Oh, just as I say that, the pink yeah, bright pink car up into the outside wall, able to save it though. In fact, everybody's able to save it. We're going to continue on.
Pete, that's the 42 of Mr. Slide Job 1996. Here's a driver that everybody in the NASCAR Heat community knows. A veteran driver, a well-seasoned driver, and an incredibly skilled driver. You'd be hard-pressed to find a league that he hasn't won in, but I'll tell you, a couple of places I've seen him struggle, the super speedways. Let's see what that pink 42 Brant Mustang does in the latter stages of this race. He'll reset and attack the front once again, Pete.
Yeah, he's actually still, he's not doing too bad. Kind of looking back here, it's going to be kind of hard to miss him. Right now, I'm driving along with this number 9 Hooters Camaro from More Than a Cape. Yo, again, guys, go to morethan-a-cape.org. Up everything about TJ's story. Everything that we've said about this diecast, the money that it's going to, and all that is 100% legit. It all goes through to, I think it's a 501C1 or 501C3, something like that. It's all, it's all for a great cause. Again, morethan-a-cape.org. Read up on TJ's story. TJ was his little boy that unfortunately succumbed to cancer. That's why he's so passionate about it. That's why he's all over the NASCAR Heat communities. For as long as I've known him, I would say this is probably the third benefit that I've personally worked on with More Than a Cape, and every single time he outdoes himself. Whether it's just a little bit to a race winner, or a gift card, or now a first time ever kind of a diecast. Man, go read up on it, morethan-a-cape.org. Read up about TJ. If it doesn't pull on any heartstrings, go check your pulse. Rick, you're still green.
Still green coming around this tri-oval now. Chickenfoot still leading, but there seems to be a rift in the lead, Pete. No one knows how to follow single file anymore. You can see those cars weaving and snaking down across that line. There's now 69 laps remaining, and it's been a nice race so far, Pete, but the niceness stops now. Alpha York trying to force his way to the inside line. Now 68 and a half laps left. They're starting to file in one single line, Pete, but look at the Chickenfoot drivers go, Pete, left and right, and there is the Hornet's Nest that we've seen form once again.
Yeah, everybody's still able to stay in that one line. You see the 13 Geico Camaro. He's going to dip on down underneath Alpha York. York now has a chance right in front of Cape to pull on to that bottom line. Don't think he's going to let that other Chickenfoot driver on the outside in, although he might not have much of a choice. That pushed the 13 down. He's going to try to find another hole. And here we go again. 3 more cars on that high side. Going to try to see what they can do. Getting through these corners. The back has thinned out. Rick, if they're thin like this, what are we going to see after the first round of green flag pit stops, which with 68 to go, I'm going to guess they're probably going to have to pit at 2 times wear at least 2 more times.
At least 2 more times, Pete, and with no stages, pit strategy is going to mean everything. You know that these Chickenfoot drivers are well aligned with each other, and they may pit. In fact, it's in all probability they will pit with each other. So the drivers that are not in those bright orange and black Mustangs will also have to work together to make sure that they enter and exit pit road with the same draft partners. Now 67 laps left, pit stops less than 9 laps from now. You better believe your bottom dollar, there's deals being made in that Discord chat.
There's got to be, and there might be a deal up on this high line. And just as I say that, 34 went ahead and dipped on down, leaving the 24 and additional cars out there to out to dry. Alpha York found a hole. He didn't think they were making up enough headway, although the packs were the lines, I should say, were just about even. There was 5 or 6 cars on that high side, 7 cars on the bottom, and they decided to abandon that campaign. Back down on the low line, and we're gonna cruise around a little bit more and spend some more time just getting these laps under their belt, see who they're racing with, maybe judge what their weaknesses are, and try to get after it here in just a little bit.
66 laps left, Peter, and you can see the 34 of Alpha York is trying to execute any order he can to find his way into that low line. He's now got the 24 and that 81 of Hawk to his inside. That 24 being piloted by Big Dogs, who now sneaks behind that 44 of Pit Tacky up ahead. Chickenfoot has a stranglehold on this one, but Ace Petty in the 43 still holds third, as he has been all race long. Keep your eye on that 43. He's got something up his sleeve.
Yeah, he's been up there all race long, just like the rest of his Chickenfoot cars. Again, you can kind of figure out who they are by the the orange rims and the orange fins on the back of these things. Again, that was an update in Heat 5 when the game launched. So. They're trying to bring more and more stuff out to help us out in the paint booth and all that. I would sacrifice the rim colors and the fins for an actual lap counter and a running order, though, but not yet.
Pete, it's just another thing. It's one more item on the long wish list that we have for the next iteration of this game. Surely we can expect the next game will have a brand new platform built from the ground up. So we can expect and hope that there's going to be great changes. So far, a couple of these drivers are expecting to rewind this. You saw those two cars getting in a wreck there in turn 1, Pete. So far, we stay green right before the pit stop window.
Yep, still green, still watching old Fatless Dig and Alpha York's onboard to see what they've got up their sleeve. I'm sure they are probably in a party with Coe and anybody else from NNR that's out here tonight. American Ethanol, NNR, and Turned Down for What? They've got I can't say NNR has an affiliation with NNR, but American Ethanol and Papa Bear's league, Turned Down for What, have an affiliation with NNR. I can say that. So it'd probably be pretty good to assume that they're all sitting in a party together, maybe talking a little bit of strategy, finding out who's got fuel, who's the lowest on fuel that should be in the back drafting, who's got the most fuel, who's been in this pack, and it has been since we went green, and who's the best to lead these guys around. It would definitely be somebody on a wheel.
I'm excited to see who it's going to be, Pete. So far, we can surmise it's going to be one of these Chickenfoot Fords. They're taking their time up front, and they all come down pit road at once, Pete. Look at them all come down. They're scrambling down. The 93 of DHG slamming into a couple of cars there, and a couple of cars losing traction and position headed down. So now we'll see how they exit. We'll see how well they can draft together.
I can just about guarantee you at least two guys got in here way too hot, and they're going to be spending an extra 15 seconds on pit road. Even if they didn't have any damage, you might as well take advantage of it, grab that bottle of water, grab that bottle of whatever, because your pit stop's going to be just a little bit longer. Way too hot getting in.
That 93
like,
of DHG now going to be leaving
one of them.
pit road. That 43 of Ace Petty is still down there as well. This is not good, Pete. A lot of these Chickenfoot drivers who were dominating at the front are still down pit road. Deprev is now coming down pit road, one of those Chickenfoot drivers. There goes Ace Petty, who spun on the exit. He's now behind Tacky in that Hooters number 44. Pete, disaster. I don't think they could have picked a worse outcome.
No, not at all. And there's still quite a few guys that stayed together and should be coming in very, very soon together. Right now, I'm watching along from that 14 of Papa Bear, leader of Turned Down for What, and he's got a couple cars to work with. Papa Bear was a little bit further in the back. Now he's got a few guys to draft with. They've got a couple cars right behind that. I'm sure that they'll be able to maybe catch up. 3 is usually a little bit faster than 2 if they can stay lined up. Holding a line seemed to be a little bit of a task for some tonight, but not for all.
Pete, coming through turn number 1, that green 18 is slow on the racing surface. That's going to be Brutus to Buckeye, who's very slow, nearly causing a wreck there, and he's now gaining speed while Deprev exits pit road. Deprev gets out right ahead of the 18. The 18 under the yellow line, trying to get around Deprev in that 39. Not sure what happened there, Pete, but safe and sound for the most part. Your leader is still the 34 of Alpha York.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that Deprev meant to move up just a little bit higher. 18 didn't have quite enough room, so he went on to pass him on by under the line. But Deprev definitely meant to give him that position. All right, so let's work our way back up to old Alpha York right now. See how he's doing. He definitely had a bit of fuel in the reserve after being a little bit further in the pack. So let's find him. Here we go right now. Alpha York, he's going to signal right now that he's coming down pit road this time.
34 now looking that he's going to come down pit road this time by making a move on the outside of these lapped cars, and Blitz, who's been shoving him this whole way, doesn't go with him. Alpha left out to dry before his moment to come down pit road. You see he resigns himself to the high side. There goes the 34. It looks like the 70 of Blitz got loose out of 4, and Pete, the leader, Alpha York in that 34, is coming down pit road all by himself.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to be good for him. I'm going to guess something happened with team comms. Maybe he was stuck on the outside whenever who he had to work with went down pit road, and was maybe just waiting to see if anybody else was left on the track that he would be able to pit with. No such luck. Alpha York's definitely going to lose a lot of time, a lot of track position. 1 is the loneliest number when you're by yourself here at Talladega and you've got nobody to work with, nobody to help you keep up to speed. You lose seconds upon seconds per lap.
34 is now the loneliest number. Pete, Alpha York leaves pit road, and there goes the 20 just screaming by. Now 58 laps remaining. Alpha still being scored as the leader while he's on the apron here, Pete, so he may very well just come out ahead of second place. We'll see if he gained enough time. He may have just gotten lucky with many of those chicken foot drivers getting loose and getting speeding penalties. Alpha still scored as the leader, and it looks like second place is going to be the 24 car being driven by Big Dog.
Yeah, behind Big Dog, you got another Big Dog. So you got JR Big Dogs 81, and in third, it's JP Big Dogs. So first, second, and third, a little bit of an affiliation there. And then in fourth, you've got DHG Anchor 9, and then Optic Goblin to round out your top 5. Right now, though, the entire top 5 very, very spread out. Second place about a second and a half behind first. Looks like those two are drafting and getting together, and then fourth and fifth are also trying to push together. So let's see if we can catch up with one of these big dogs here, Rick.
3.5 seconds the gap from first to fifth. Right now, JP in the 13 pushing JR in the 24. And it won't be who shot JR, but who shot JR to first place, because that is going to be the story here if these two big dogs in the 24 and 13, JR and JP respectively, get around this 41 and behind that 34 of Alpha York. Getting close to halfway, Pete, these drivers now have fresh tires and a full gas tank full of high-octane Sunoco fuel. There you see the 34 to the high side, blocking the move on the outside, using the 41 as a pick, and now the 41, that lone car on the inside, able to hold off the leader, Pete. That 41 being driven by Sinapius 17, now succumbing to that 3-car train on the outside.
Yeah, you know what? That probably could not have worked out any better for Alpha, because now he's going to be able to drop on back down to that yellow line, protect that for everything that it's worth. And he's able to hold on to that lead, and now he's got the two big dogs right behind him. And now being a 4-car pack with this guy that I believe just went a lap down, they're going to be able to help hit them out. And fourth and fifth were a little bit further back, so 4 cars are definitely going to be faster than 2. I think Alpha's sitting pretty good right now.
55 laps to go with the 34 car in the lead. He's got the 24 of JR Big Dogs right behind him, and then JP Big Dogs in the 13 behind them. The 41 of Sinapius does not want to play single file. He keeps trying to move to the outside, but these 3 cars continue their race. on that inside line. Together, they are faster than a single car on the track, and that's what they're aiming to do. Pull away from that secondary pack that is less organized than they. They're right now catching up to that 20 car up ahead of Dallas. He's in that damaged Sports Clip Camry. Let's see how the leaders get around him with 54 laps left.
Yeah, right now, if I'm the leader, if I'm Alpha York, I am yelling into my mic, we are coming low. Please stay high as they exit turn 2, way on the bottom, full steam ahead. 20 looks just like he's standing still as they go tearing on by. He's going to try to grab onto the back end of this draft. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. They went by with a head of steam. Plus, he's got some damage coming off of 4, unless that is just pit road damage, not real, then he should be just fine to try to keep up, and it looks like he's got their draft.
53 circuits remaining around this 2.67 mile super speedway, Pete. It used to be an air base, and you can still see the remnants from those massive runway shadows you can find in the infield. Go ahead and get on your interwebs and just look for a bird's eye view of Talladega Super Speedway. You'll see exactly what we're talking about. In previous NASCAR games, they even had a road course configuration using those runways. A wonderfully historic racetrack. It's been etched in the cornerstone of NASCAR lore, and now, Pete, turn down for what opens its series on these hallowed high banks.
Oh, Rick, you just led me to something beautiful. At the end of this month, obviously, Talladega has always been, Hollowdega, Scary Dega, whatever. Later on this month, a lot of you are very familiar with Atlanta racing. I know, Rick, you and I really are. We got to call many races together throughout the whole FFL showdown. But at the end of October, Chickenfoot Racing, that's out here tonight, they are going to be putting on Hollowdega. It's going to be a heat-style race. I think it's like 3 different heats to work your way into the main race, and there's going to be gift card giveaways. There's going to be a chocolate giveaway. There's going to be or just candy giveaway, I think, in general. But you're definitely not going to want to miss that. Absolutely stay tuned to Twitter. More details will come out of that a little bit later on. But you're absolutely right about this place, Rick. It used to be an old military base. And I am Laser out there in chat. He asked me for the link, about 3 minutes ago, Rick. And I sent him the link. Guess what? He sent me back and sent. So Laser, the one of the most recent, if not the most recent, to go ahead and contribute towards trying to get that Chase Elliott diecast. That Chase Elliott diecast you see on the bottom of your screen with that scroll. The link for the PayPal is still there. Again, guys and gals, $5 gets you 1 ticket. $10 gets you 3 tickets. Go on and smash it. That's right, the Chase Elliott All-Star Win diecast, the UniFirst diecast that you see on the bottom of your screen. Yes, the car actually lights up just like it did during the actual All-Star race. First diecast ever from NASCAR to do that. You're not going to want to miss it.
Pete, they're not going to want to miss this at all. Laser, get on your phone. Tell your friends to get on this link here, twitch.tv/repeat75. Everyone who comments in the chat tonight has a chance to win a $15 Xbox Live gift card. You can go to the link that Pete has sent, buy those 3 tickets for $10, and get a chance to win that $120 Chase Elliott light up diecast. So many prizes, so much fun, and it's all for a good cause. 100% of the proceeds you donate to that Chase Elliott raffle goes to morethanAcape.org, helping those kids win their fight against pediatric cancer. Earn a chance to win that diecast, help save a child's life, Comment in the chat and you might win a $15 Xbox Live gift card. Twitch.tv/repeat 1975. We're now on the 47th lap of competition, Pete.
Yeah, and everybody right now is behind that bright pink 42 that we were talking about earlier of old Mr. Slide Job. He's been able to amass quite a bit of a pack. And right now, Rick, if these guys can sort it out and get together, they've got enough to run down those leaders. It might take them a little bit of time because they've got a bit of a gap. But we're talking only about 8, maybe 10 more laps, depending on who's been able to save the most before they have to go back down pit road. But this field behind Slide Job, yeah, we're talking good, 8 cars? They can easily build up enough steam and really get after it.
Pete, if it stays green from here, it's going to be a 3-stop race. These race cars can hold about 19 laps of high-octane Sunoco fuel in their tanks. Now, with 47 laps remaining in this race, after 47 laps complete, we're halfway through this race, and easy math tells you they need at least 3 more stops from fuel if we go green. So the great equalizer, Pete, the pit stop is going to be the decider of today's event. We already saw Chickenfoot had trouble, and it cost them dearly during that first cycle. The second cycle is less than 10 laps away, Pete. Some of these drivers are by themselves. Some of them only have one draft partner. They're going to shake it up again like a game of Boggle, and we're going to see where these letters land.
That is, man, that's perfect. Yeah, I mean, it is literally just like that. You know, you shake it up, you push down the cone on that game, and you don't know what dice you're going to get, where they're going to land. It is exactly the same way. Some people also kind of say this is a little bit like a game of chess. You're moving your pawns around, you're positioning your queen, you're moving your rooks, you're getting your knight ready to go, and at the end you strike. It's the same thing here. You got to have the best people to work with. You got to have your defenses up. You got to know when to be offensive, but at the end, it's all about checkmate, and that's the guy that wants to come to that start stripe the most.
Pete, you might even say that you got to know when to hold them and you got to know when to fold them. Now 50 laps into this race, we're left with 45 remaining and another lap ticks down. I'm starting to get anxious, Pete. These pit stops are coming up soon and these drivers are going to have to make a decision. Do these 5 cars pit together? And if not, will these leaders recover from having no draft partners? This race is still wide open depending on what happens during this next cycle.
Well, one person you can guarantee that's going to be pitting probably the earliest will be the 34 of Alpha York. Everybody else behind him, they've been able to just get a pretty good tug off of his back bumper, and he's been in the lead since coming off pit road. So he can't be, I'm going to say he's probably got about 7 more laps, where Fatless Dig, who I was watching just a moment ago, he had almost 10. So if Alpha York comes down pit road by himself this time, I don't know if he'll end up in the same lucky position that he did. In fact, there he is now, signaling that he's going to be taking that Ford Mustang down pit road, and I didn't see anybody behind him status as well. So this might be all by himself. He's just got to make sure that he doesn't speed and make it any worse. Oh, he is going to have
Pete, they're all coming down. Pete, they're all coming down, all at an incredible rate of speed. Oh, that CarParts.com Mustang flew into the I'm sorry, Pete, I'm stumbling because I'm so frustrated. If this ends up being a pit stop penalty, that Mustang flew into that yellow line. Let's hope he made it under the pit road speed limit.
Well, we'll get back out here on track, and we'll have to see if that 5-car train becomes a 3 or 4-car train. Then we'll definitely have our answer. Right now, keeping up with DHG Anchor 9 as he's going to move on up to the high side, allow the 42 of Slide Job and company, that huge train. They have been coming forever, and we're starting to see all of them signal going below the yellow line as well. Hopefully they're able to get back up, and the car that was behind them gives them just a little bit of a chance. many of these chicken
Pete, the
foot
Pied
drivers got robbed or got snagged or got nagged for speeding last time by. Let's see if they learned their lesson.
Oh, heavy contact into pit road, Pete. The 42 slide job slammed into the rear end and sent flying into pit road. Keep your eye on these leaders as well. Chickenfoot cannot afford another pit stop mistake, Pete. It would cripple their efforts tonight. I was saying, the Pied Piper in that pink Mustang at the front, slide job leading this race and commanding that second pack with great force. Is it all for naught? Does he have that penalty?
Well, I'm still sitting on him right now. I see that. I believe that's a 3M behind him. Could be something else. Not 100% sure. Nope. Slide job. First one in. He's going to be the last one out. Huge penalty for slide job. And it looks like everybody else that's on pit road is going to get out way before him. And looking behind him, I see nobody in his direct rear view. So slide job's definitely going to have some work ahead of him. Hopefully some cars will come on around that won't be a lap down, and he'll be able to latch on or get in front of and really make up some ground. But that speeding penalty or that contact which caused the speeding penalty is really going to be problematic for that 42.
It's an absolute shame, Pete. The Pied Piper in that Pink Panther race car was just sent into pit road with a full send, not of his own doing. You saw heavy contact to the rear end of that 42, sent him down there, and with no draft partners, he will struggle to stay on the lead lap unless he picks up a friend. 41 laps to go. Car 42 has it all to do, but if there's one driver in this field who can do, it is Mr. Slide Job 1996. Your leader, Pete, is the 14 car being driven by NNR Papa Bear.
Yeah, Papa Bear again, leader of Turn Down for What. He was one of the last ones to pit last time. He kind of just tagged along in the back of a draft. So Papa Bear might be trying to get this done on some fuel. If he can go an extra lap or two and stay out once everybody else has pit, we'll have to see. But there we are right now, riding along with that 42 of Slide Job. Nobody anywhere near him. Nobody in front that he can really get a draft off of. Got to try to be really, really smooth all the way through these corners, hoping that maybe that person up front maybe tags that apron, makes a little bit of a mistake, slows up just enough for you to get a whiff of the draft and pull your way up. Again, Rick, these guys are running under normal draft, not under the addition to the game that was made just 3 or 4 days ago, where they've got many options now. You've got low draft, you got high draft, you got normal draft. No such luck.
No such luck, Pete, and for good reason. The way these drivers have been running all over each other, that high draft package would mean more cautions than 62 of NNR Coe so far being scored as your leader, and not anymore. The number 34 CarParts.com Mustang of Alpha York now resumes the lead in first place. He's got JR Big Dogs 81 in second, JP Big Dogs in third, right on his rear bumper, and the gap grows to NNR Coe 24, now 20 seconds and counting. Chickenfoot resumes the fourth place position. Pit Tacky 24, now a full 20 seconds behind. Optic Goblin in fifth, rounding out that top five.
We wondered if there was one car that was going to end up being caught speeding out of what was a 5-car train being led around by the 34 rather. And it looks like that was the case, because now they are only 4 deep. Like you said, the big dogs right there along with that 41. And if I'm not mistaken, though, yeah, that 41, he's actually a lap down still. I'm sorry, not the 41. It is the 41. He is a lap down, so it's just these top 3. But it's always great to have that extra car. Just, hey, even if it is tagging along, he'd be the first car 1 lap down, more than likely, and he'd get that lap back.
It's a numbers game, Pete, and so far this secondary pack has more numbers than that first pack. There's about 6 cars, starting with the 5 of Optic, then the 43 of Ace Petty, the 70 of Blitz, the 19 of Robbie Steph, the 44 of Tacky, and then the 51 of Fatless Dig. They are chasing down Alpha York in that 3-car pack, so they have twice the horsepower, and you can see, I don't know if they're trying strategy, Pete, but they're backing out of line. They're getting runs on each other. They are really trying to run down these leaders. I hope they know what's going on, Pete. Up ahead, that looks to be that white car of Dallas, who will join this 6-car pack, Pete. In a couple of laps, these leaders are going to be in real trouble.
Yeah, if they can get up there, kind of riding along right now, looking at Alpha York's stream. 2 laps ago, he had a 20-second gap back to P4. Well, right now he's actually 21.5 seconds. So believe it or not, those 4 cars, because they're running nose to tail, they're not dipping outside or diving inside. They're not racing each other. They are actually still pulling away by just a little bit, lap after lap. So those guys holding their line, really working well together. They might be settling this race out amongst themselves, barring any kind of issue on pit road or any caution that may come out. But Rick, right now this race has a very green feel to it.
It's got a very green car in front of the leaders as well. There goes the 18 getting out of the way and forcing the leaders to go high in the tri-oval. Jump in the fire, 88 behind the 81 car of Hawk. The leaders cross the line one more time, and now they're just left with 35 laps to go. Jump in the fire, 88 just ahead of these leaders. Is he trying to interrupt the run that they've got? Now the leaders on the outside down the Alabama Gang super stretch, trying to lap cars and continue to pull away.
Well, there's a little bit of a gap between the bottom 3 cars and pretty much the guys outside on that high. They are all nose to tail. 34 Alpha York holding a phenomenal line. The big dogs right behind them, first, second, and third, trying to put these guys, put 3 straight cars an additional lap down. So right now that 41 really wants to stay tucked in very tight. If a caution should come out, he would still want to remain the first car 1 lap down. 4 cars up high, 3 cars on the bottom, able to really compete because of that low line, the shorter way around the track, doing a phenomenal job side by side, 4 rows deep.
Fighting to stay on the lead lap if they can, Pete, but now the leaders are losing time to the pack behind him. The 4 cars underneath can't seem to mobilize and stay ahead because they can't link, but now into turn number 3, they're finally nose to tail and in a steady line. These leaders could find themselves in trouble if they don't get more draft help soon.
Yeah, it looks like 34 now is out there. Oh, almost a little bit of contact from the 41 inside. 41 decided he's going to get his lap back the old-fashioned way. He's going to dive it on down, get back in front of that 34. So Alpha York's going to remain the leader, but now he has a pack of cars to work with in front of him, Rick. This is huge for Alpha because he's been the leader. He's been burning the most gas. Now he can back off the throttle, use a little bit of a trail brake, and really save some gas. He's been the first one to have to go into the pits the last couple times. Maybe not this time.
Maybe not this time, Pete. That 34 of Alpha York is up ahead, and he is cruising. Now
Lost you for a second there, bud. Not quite sure if you're still there, but yeah, Alpha York right now.
Pete, you got me?
Yep, I got you now, buddy.
Sorry about that. I was just going to say the 34 struggling to get into line, Pete. We'll see how he does, but so far he's still on the high side trying to get in line with these cars. We're getting to the 30 to go mark, Pete. It's still a 2-stop race from here, and the leaders are losing time.
Yeah, the that Haas Automation Ford Mustang that he's pushing right now, that's actually 19th place. So he's going to duck back in behind the 18, rock out that bottom line. A little bit of contact with that South Point Camaro. I believe that's going to be Coey. Not 100% sure, but looks like he's going to be able to retain the lead and still just chugging along. Everybody that was side by side now in one long single file line, except for that 13 Geico Camaro. He's now going to go tail end Charlie, keep in a draft, reserve the most fuel if he doesn't lose the draft, and just try to keep up.
That's all they can do, Pete, is keep up and keep up in a major way. Finally, the leaders get strung out single file, but there they go to the outside one more time trying to mount that charge. There's no help on the inside. They might have them this time, Pete. More numbers on the outside, and it is a numbers game at this speed. K-Hawk in the 81 can no longer hold off the 34 of Alpha York. He may clear him out of turn number 4. He's got the 31 of JR behind him. Here comes the 41 of Spin. The 34 has cleared him, but he remains on the outside line. He comes down to the inside, and the 34 Alpha York clears that lapped pack. He's now up ahead uninterrupted on this 65th lap of competition. 30 laps to go.
You know, Rick, I don't know if I actually would have done that. You had a pack of 4 cars that were perfectly content to work with you. None of them had to go down pit road that last time. Alpha did because he was the leader the entire time. He spent most amount of gas. So now he's got a bunch of lap cars around him that may not have the same pit sequence. Now that he's left those guys out to dry, even though they're in this pack, they may not be as willing to work with him. So Alpha York, I probably would have stuck there, stayed on the outside, kept on working on those lap cars, and done the same thing. Kept working with second and third place. As Rick, we got a caution.
Yellow flag comes out, Pete, with 29 laps remaining in this race, and not a moment too soon. These drivers had no more than 5 laps of fuel in the tank, and as we've said, Pete, it is the great equalizer. 16 cars remain on that lead lap of the 23 that started this race, so we're going to have one more join the fray of lead lap cars, and Pete, these fans are about to have a lot of fun watching this restart.
Yes, they are. I'm going to try to work my way back up right now to that 34 and see if we can't catch back up. There's Ace Petty. All right, there we go. Let's get there right now. What a field, I tell you. JR Big Dogs 81 to the outside of Alpha York. And Rick, we are going back green. Actually, that 24 is able to finagle his way into that bottom line. So first through fourth, all on that bottom. Behind them, they are side by side until they can get this figured out. Whole lot of wiggle wagon action, as Frozen Toes would say. And we'll have to see if we get back. Nope, they're wrecking hard in the back now, Rick.
They're wrecking hard now with 26 coming to 25 laps to go, and the caution comes out now on the 69th lap of competition. Not a nice way to restart this race, Pete, and now we get closer and closer to that magic number, 19. 19 laps is where these drivers can stretch their fuel mileage. We're going to restart with 23 laps to go, so they still have to come down pit road, but after that, one more caution could mean the final pit stops for the race.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if you're Alpha York right now, you are hoping that caution comes out. And you're just going to grab that last dash of fuel because you figure everybody else is going to do the same thing, or at least everybody else that's paying attention. If not, maybe you're short 1 lap or a lap and a half. At that point, you just kind of stay hopefully mid-pack on that bottom line. Hold your line the best you can, hoping that nobody either tries to undercut you or the guy to the outside doesn't come down and give you a little bit of a door check, just like you see the 24th doing right now to the 9 of Cape. Here comes the 43 of Ace Petty. He's going to be right back in the mix in P4 as he's 24 is able to duck on into line. Man, what a move. But now top 7, all bottom line behind them, really fighting for position.
Single file as they go down the Alabama Gang super stretch. Ace Petty, 43 in the 43, sitting in 4th place as they run down the line. Look there in 5th. It's Mr. Slide Job, 1996 in that pink 42. I told you he would come back and contend for the win. Jump in the fire, 88. He's brave out on the high side, but he'll be left out to dry. Meanwhile, the 13 of JP Big Dogs, Blitzkrieg, is up there fighting for the lead, Pete. All of these big players, such as JR, the 9 of More Than a Cape, the 34 of Alpha York, all in contention to win.
Yeah, every single one of them. we've been talking about Alpha York so much because he's been really able to hold on to that line. And when he's gone into the pits, sometimes he's had help, sometimes not, but still able to use it. And here it is. Here is that equalizing caution, Rick. And as you called it, it's going to be 22 laps before the end of the caution when we're good to go. I'm going to guess we're going to be at that number, 19 to go. Everybody should go in right now, top it off, and try to hopefully you can retain that track position. If not, and it puts you amongst the beehive where it's been really swarming lately. Just hold your own the best you can.
The big 1-9, Pete. The big magic number. Now from here, if it stays green, which I doubt, but if it stays green, the driver that saves the most fuel may come away as the winner. It will be a gamble. As we go to green, fans watching, one thing that isn't a gamble is having a chance to save a child's life. In the bottom left, that Chase Elliott diecast is up for grabs as we go back to green with less than 20 remaining. 1 ticket for $5, 3 tickets for $10. 100% of the proceeds go to kids fighting cancer, and you get a chance to win that Chase Elliott diecast. The link is in the chat. Buy those tickets, save a kid's life, get a chance to win that car, and enjoy the rest of this race. Pete, there's single file headed to you in the third corner.
Yes, single file all on that bottom line. Laser wants to know when we'll know who won that raffle. Absolutely, Laser. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to put that link back out there one more time. At last count, there were 80 plus now tickets sold. So, Laser, thank you very much for contributing. The car will be given away, or we'll know who won the raffle at the championship race during the XLCT tournament that's been going on. We'll know hopefully a little bit more who's going to be moving on right after this race when Rick James and I call the NAR versus CRL race live from Martinsville Speedway. So hopefully everybody that's out here right now will be more than happy to come and keep up with us there. Rick, that 34 is still in the lead, but he's got some new help behind him. It is that 9, the guy that's raffling off that diecast. It's the 9 of More Than a Cape. MoreThanACape.org. Read up on TJ's story. Come on back.
34 of Alpha York leading this race, More Than a Cape in second in that number 9. JR in the 24, JP in the 13, and no chicken foot drivers in that top 5. Back there with 17 laps to go, rounding out the top 5 is the 19 car being driven by Robbie Steph 30. So far, they're glued to the inside line. It'll be 16 and a half to go as they go down the backstretch, Pete, and they're starting to get frantic.
Rick, I'm really curious if Alpha York is actually going to have enough fuel to pull this off. Following his stream, like I've been for laps and fuel and all that, he did not go in to top that off. Is he hoping for one more caution? Under caution, we burn 2 to 3 laps. Or is he confident in what he's got? He has not switched his menu to see what he's got left in the tank. I'm guessing he figures he's made his bed unless he sees anyone else in his rear view to go status that or signal that they're going to be bringing it on down pit road. We'll have to see. Rock NASCAR out there in chat saying things are starting to get intense now, but Tom Willoughby now. Chickenfoot guys can make it from here on fuel. Rick, are they not in the top 5, top 7 for a purpose? Are they all back there saving?
That has to be the play, Pete. Chickenfoot knows they can make it, so they're waiting on the race going green from here on out, and they know if they don't wreck, the leaders have to pit. Look at the 19, Robbie Steph, weaving back and forth. Looking from Alpha York's stream with 15 laps remaining, the game says he's got 12 laps of fuel to go. We know he is at minimum 3 laps short. 15 to go. He's 3 laps short. He's got another 12, now 11, almost 11 laps to make a decision on when he's going to have to come down pit road. And I don't think it's going to be up to him, Pete. I think he's going to be at the mercy of his competitors and how aggressive they decide to drive.
You know, I'm watching this 9. He's been all over the back bumper of that 34 for, I don't know how long, and he was really dropping back. I wonder, Rick, if he's testing out to see exactly how much of a pull he can get, where he needs to drop back, where he can try that slingshot move, seeing in his rear view which cars may or may not be willing to go up high with him. But that 34 is starting to come off that double yellow line, coming off the corners. If he gets too high, he's going to get past.
He could get past, but he just certainly can't make it. So either way, he can either sit at the front, and there goes the 9 of More Than a Cape. The 34 has lost his pusher, and the 9 is going to be left out to dry, almost coming down right in front of the 21. Now getting passed by that 39 of Deprev and the 70 of Blitz, who makes contact with that 9. They're starting to get dicey. The 34 might get his wish, Pete. Lucky number 13 laps remaining.
Yeah, lucky 13, unlucky for that 9. You know, he just got kicked all the way to the back. The only car outside of him or anywhere near him is going to be that 62 South Point Camaro for NNR Coey. Everybody else in front of them, a whole lot of swerving. Again, we're giving away a diecast for Swervin' Irvin, and I didn't think we were going to see that here in these closing laps. I assumed everybody would really just paint that yellow line, that double butter all the way around. But here it is. Everybody from Chickenfoot up high. They got the numbers up there. Can they actually make it all the way around? Or here comes, oh man, that was a bad block. Not quite sure who that was, but that just shoved the 9 of Cape straight into the wall. Whoever was that tail end car from Chickenfoot just came on down, and very, very unlucky for Cape.
Incredibly unlucky for Cape. We saw what happened there. He was going along some contact there. They decided to go too wide through the tri-oval, and cars just came down onto the 9, sent him into the grass up through the tri-oval. We stay green with the 9 now turned around, and at the tail end of this one, it's going to be 11 laps to go when they come to the line, Pete. 34, 24, 13, your top 3. Alpha York, JR, JP.
Yeah, Alpha York has had the help of the big dogs ever since, during those green flag pit stops. They went down. They were helping them all along. JP Big Dogs, if I'm not mistaken, he is a part of the American Ethanol roster. So they could all be working together and just try to duke it out amongst themselves for those final laps. We'll have to see. We'll also have to see if Chickenfoot tries that high line strategy one more time, maybe a little bit closer to the end of the race. But right now, everybody back in line, really trying to stay as low as they can, protecting their position. Everybody's still chasing Alpha.
Everybody's still chasing Alpha. Everybody's still hoping for this caution. Alpha York still leading this race so far, and he's managed to hold his competitors behind him beautifully with impressive skill. Now 10 laps to go, and you can see the Chickenfoot drivers are starting to get impatient, fanning wide left and right, 3 wide through that first corner. Your top 3 remains Alpha York, JR, JP, down the super stretch, headed towards you in 3, Pete.
Yeah, all the way down to super stretch. Everybody on that bottom line, just a little bit of swerving back and forth. That might just be the guys letting up off the throttle, just kind of holding back, seeing some people decide to duck on out. Are those Chickenfoot drivers trying that one more time? If that is, they actually just ended up losing spots. Entering the tri-oval, everybody's passing that pit road entry. I don't think we're going to see the pits anymore. Everybody's got what they got here, Rick.
They've got what they got, and they're coming across the line now. 34 still leading the way with the 24 and the 13 behind him. Cars fanning out, but no one's wrecking. 9 laps to go. 6 laps left of fuel for these leaders. They will not make it to the end, and a caution is their only hope. As they get single file, that hope fades, but they struggle along knowing it's either going to be a pit stop or a caution that makes their race. The 19 can't control his line, Pete. Robbie Steff loose into the 4th corner. He's got the 39 of Deprev pushing hard right behind him.
Yeah,
There goes the 20, wrecking 4, Pete. Sorry, Pete, I did not mean to interrupt you. Big wreck in 4. Dallas getting into the 70
And
of
there's the
Blitz.
caution, sir.
There it is, Pete. That's why I interrupted so rudely, Pete. I expected everything we just talked about to come true. The curse of the commentator strikes, Pete. We're going to have 6 laps to go, and everyone can make it on fuel. I'm going to interrupt Pete one more time, folks. Look in the bottom left at that beautiful Chase Elliott die-cast car. Get the link in the chat. Help save a child's life with your donation and get those raffle tickets. 1 for $5, 3 tickets for $10, which is an amazing deal. 3 for $10. Every penny goes to help those kids in their fight against cancer, and you have a chance to win that Chase Elliott diecast. Send the link to this chat. Help your friends be winners. Pete, we're going to green in this inaugural Turn Down Series race. Let's go.
I tell you what, I don't know what Alpha is thinking. He actually stayed out right there. He's got 5 laps left in the tank, and we're going to be coming back to 6 laps. If he's up front, he's burning the most amount of fuel. No, I take that back. Actually, the game did take 1 more lap, so 5 laps to go. He's got 5 laps in the tank. Can he hold everybody off? That just put everybody on that level playing field that you were talking about earlier, Rick. He can go all the way unless he happens to be, half lap short, quarter lap short, whatever the case may be. I don't wish ill for Alpha York at all, but I think the man needed at least a half a tank, if at all. Everybody behind him pit.
Everybody behind him did pit, but he may have strategized perfectly all the way to the end. It's still 34 in the lead. He's got the 13 of JP behind him, and then he's got Robbie in the 19 behind the 13. D-Prev in the 39, and then the 44 of Taki. 4 laps to go. Mustang, Camaro, Camry, your top 3 out of 2 and down the stretch. Pete, they've got to make that move on the outside line.
Well, right now it looks like the Chicken Foot Racing guys, they've got 2 or 3 cars together, then 1 or 2 cars that aren't part of that league, and then a couple more of their cars, nose to tail. So if they're going to do it, they're going to have to do it with a little bit of a gap between them. So I don't think they're going to get that strong run that they need. Alpha York really down far on that yellow line. Some contact coming through the tri-oval, a couple cars spinning around, more getting collected. We might see yet 1 more caution, and if that happens, it would be a green-white checker. 3 laps to go, Rick.
3 to go, and the yellow flag does come out, Pete. We're going to have that green-white checkers with 2 to go when they take the green flag. It'll be the 34 of Alpha York on the inside, JP Big Dogs on the outside, and then our pulse hitter, D-Prev, in that 39. He is going to be starting in 4th place alongside that 19 of Robbie. Pete, it only gets hairier.
Yeah, I tell you, it's, Rock put out there in chat, let's pull those belts tight 1 more time. Again, Rock, thank you very much for giving the order for everybody here to start their engines. By the end of this, some guys may not have much of an engine left. It's about to get nuts.
Getting ready to go back to green here, Pete, as we called it. It's the 34 of Alpha York up front. He's got the... what car was that to the outside, Pete? The 13 of JP. Back to green, 2 to go. The 13's going to sneak right behind the 34, and as they were, Pete, just over 5 miles remaining.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the whoever was on the car that was in 3rd place was really playing a little bit of a game. We might actually have a second shot here at this green-white checker, and they are wrecking huge going through 1 and 2. We'll have to see if that caution flies, and yep, there it is.
There it is, Pete. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it 1 more time, my friend. I'm running out, Pete. I don't know if I can handle this 1 more time, man. The excitement is just too much for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, whoever was in 3rd place right there really stacked up the entire field. They kind of checked up to allow the 13 to get in, playing those games. These guys have been working well all race long. They didn't want to break up the party, but that party caused a huge wreck in the back. So It's not what you want to see, but I understand why they're doing it. They just need to race it out here.
That's exactly what they need to do, Pete. And they need to get to that line. Once they get to that line, it's going to be the white flag that ends it. And you better believe these drivers are also ready to end this race, but not without giving it their all. The 34 leads Deprev in the 39 behind him. He's got the 13 of JP to his outside. 2 laps to go. Another 5.2 miles remaining.
Well, this time Deprev was hard on a throttle, no checking up there. They're both all three of our top guys are gonna move on up. 19 trying to get underneath that 39, nowhere to go. They are wrecking in the back yet again after one guy completely lost control. We'll have to see if he makes it back to the line or if the game decides that they're far enough off track not to be in the way. Alpha York still hard on the throttle all the way down the straightaway. He's got the 13 in his rear view. He's got all kinds of help. Very, very familiar help that he's had for the second half of this race. Rick, we are still green heading towards the front stretch.
We're still green, 34 in the lead. Alpha York leading through the tri-oval. He's got the 13 Geico Camaro of JP behind him. The 39 Allegiant Mustang of Deprev putting the 19 of Robbie under that yellow line. White flag is in the air. Next flag ends the race. These drivers are getting dicey, and if a wreck comes out now, the 34 is your winner. Through 1, through 2. Mustang, Chevrolet, Mustang, down that backstretch, Pete, moving under that yellow line. It's still the 34. It's still the 13, headed into the third corner.
Yeah, 34-13, Alpha York, and then the 13-39 of Deprev. Deprev dipping down below that yellow line just a little bit. 13 looks pretty content for now, but will he try that run on the outside? 34 washes up a little bit. He's going to be left all alone. 13's going to take the lead. 39 behind him. We might be looking at a new leader. Here comes that 34 strong on the outside.
And there goes that move all the way to the end, Pete. Unbelievable way to end that race. The 34 of Alpha York running out of gas on the very end. The 62 of NNR Coe with a move on the outside to win that race. Pete, I don't believe what I just saw. Have
Coe has
you
been nowhere
ever?
all race long, and here he is talking about him in victory lane, followed by one of the big dogs, and then Deprev. Deprev was hard on the throttle once we went back green, but congratulations, NNR Coe, way to come in clutch, sir.
That was something else, Pete. I don't know when I've ever seen a finish like that. Man, what a way to start this new league, huh?
Not kidding at all. And as Rick James just said, guys, turn down for what is looking for experienced drivers. As you can see right above that scroll for the diecast that we're giving away. If you want to drive with turn down for what, go to the About section below my stream, and you'll see the screen that you saw in pre-race. Just go to it, hit it. It'll bring you to their Weebly webpage. From there, you just send them a message, and Pop Bear will get back to you, and we'll they'll set you up. They race Saturday nights, I believe, right around 9 o'clock. They started a little bit earlier today because Rick James and I have another race to call at 10:30. Part of the tournament races where it's going to be NAOR versus Carolina Racing League, CRL, right from Martinsville Speedway. Hopeful that we'll see you back then. But Rick, I had a task for you in the beginning of this, buddy. While we've still got quite a few in there, do you want to call out a lucky name now, or do you want to wait just a little bit longer? Keep them on the edge of their seat, maybe.
Pete, let's keep these guys on the edge of their seats just one more time. I think they need to cool down from that race. We'll give them a little more excitement before the end of the show. And I still can't believe that the 62 came out of nowhere to win that race. What a finish.
No kid, he was nowhere. I mean, at one point we saw him side by side, a little bit of door contact with a guy all the way in the back, and then he comes on up. Here he is, and gets it done. Coe, I mean, leader of NNR, which is normally the the community that I stream for. Actually, we stream for now since you started calling the Xfinity races with me. So, Coey, man, congratulations, buddy. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I know the one and only Papa Bear is going to be sending an Ernie Irvan diecast your way here pretty soon. So, man, congratulations. But we'll be right back, ladies and gents. We're going to get our top three here in the booth. After they're finished with their cool-down lap, we'll talk to them here in just a minute. All right, Rick, we are back, and we've got our top three in the booth. You know, under that, while we're waiting for everybody to get in, just one more time, guys, I'm going to put that link out there in chat. Thank you very much for those of you during tonight's stream that have gone over and placed your entry into that raffle for that diecast. Absolutely appreciate it. Rock NASCAR, I will definitely pass forward that congrats to Coey once we talk to him. But Rick, let's start off with P3. What do you think?
That sounds fantastic to me, Pete, after that race there. Before we get there, Pete, click that link, fans. 1 ticket for 5, 3 tickets for 10. Save a kid's life. Get a chance to win that diecast. Great way to end that one. Pete, I believe our third place finisher was JP Big Dogs. Do I have that right?
No, it was Deep Red from Chickenfoot.
It was D-Prep. All right, D-Prep. Now with third step on the podium, then D-Prep. We saw you started off well in the race, and towards the end of the race, you started to come back at the end. It got really dicey there in those last few laps. Describe that run to the finish.
It was tough. Got shuffled to the back with some of the pit stops early on, and just relied on the other Chickenfoot teammates to try to stay in line and stay as tucked up on the bottom as possible.
Absolutely. It seemed to be a difficult run in the beginning, but overall, it looked like a fun drive.
Absolutely.
Sure. What a fantastic way to get that in, Pete. It seems like D-Prev had a fantastic time, Pete. How about second place?
Absolutely. All right. So I believe we're going to JP Big Dogs, yeah? JP, if you're trying to talk, we're hearing a whole lot of snow, sir. JP, you got us?
You got a copy?
I got you now.
Yeah, we had a pretty good race there, man. We stayed up front pretty much the whole race. I was hoping York wasn't going to ride a few. I was right there with him. If we had another caution right there, another green, white checkered, I wasn't going to make it. I just hated he had to run out of gas like that. I was going to push him on up there for the win. I was happy with second. Good racing, though, fellas.
It was really interesting, and I think you pretty much just answered my question without me really having to ask it. When Alpha York could go down pit road, pretty much all by himself, I know you guys trailing behind him were probably good for another lap, maybe 3, but you decided to come on down pit road with him. obviously the leader always burns more fuel than anyone else. Was that the case? And did you guys have a plan to work together all race long, or was at the end was it going to be kind of every man for himself?
Yeah, we wasn't in the plans whatsoever. We pitted like 2 laps before him in that first or second pit stop, and somehow it just put us right back in the cycle on the track. So we linked up together and was going to try to keep it three. Next thing you know, we was like 3 seconds ahead of fourth place, and then boom, we was like 20 seconds ahead. So it kind of worked out in our favor.
Yeah, when he went down pit road and he was all by himself and came off all by himself, then we saw a lap car kind of come into the equation where he was able to get a draft off of him and then pull up right in front of y'all. That really helped catapult him and keep him in the lead. If you guys had a way to get around him, I don't know if he would have been able to hold on. But either way, no matter how it worked out for Alpha, very, very strong showing. Great showing for you, for D-Prev as well. The top three, as well as that 141, I think it was Haas Automation Mustang that was helping you guys out. We're really working very well together. Congrats on your podium finish, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good race, fellas.
Absolutely. And then I'll tell you what, Rick James, why don't you, since you're new to calling these NNR Xfinity races with me on Wednesday nights right around 8:30 Eastern, why don't you go ahead and take our new boss?
Let's take our new boss. It's my absolute pleasure with our race winner tonight, driver of the number 62 South Point Camaro NNR Coe. And my first question for you, sir, where did you come from?
I have no idea. I just came out of the sky and landed on the track and just went for it.
Now, on that last lap, we heard a couple of your competitors say that the 34 had announced he was running out of fuel. Everybody backed up, and that's where you got the space and the run to come up. When the white flag flew, did you know that was a possibility?
Honestly, I was just looking at the cars in front of me, and as soon as I kind of looked up a little, I just saw them all kind of spread out and basically said to myself, holy, you know what, I don't know where to go, and I just went high and just flew by. I mean, it was all about being at the right spot at the right time. That's all that really
Right place.
was. Right place, at the
Right
time,
place,
yeah.
right time indeed. And it turned to be a pretty fruitful move for you, my friend. For my money, that's earned you the nickname Mr. Where Did He Come From for the rest of this season. And it's only race one, so we're expecting a lot more excitement from you for the rest of the year.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Congratulations once again to NNR Coe. Pete, what a way to start this new league.
Not a bad to start out this new league. Again, these guys are actually a few races into their season. This is the first race where they trying to drum up more and more people to join Turn Down for what? That's why we had Chickenfoot here, American Ethanol, NNR. I mean, many people came out to help Papa Bear and his strive to become a pretty good fixture here on Heat 5. I agreed to call Papa Bear's races every other Saturday, and I'm glad that Talladega fell on this schedule, and here we are. Coe, by the way, you just picked up yourself an old Ernie Irvin diecast, which I'm sure Papa Bear will be getting your details here pretty soon. So I'm sure that old cat car will look. I'm sorry, Haviland car, excuse me, will look very, very nice next to all of your Fanatec equipment, sir.
Yeah, it was nice to hear about winning that. He's something I'll probably put in my son's room, let him keep it in his room. Yeah, he's all excited.
I was going to say your son actually popped in chat. He said, "Let's go! What a win!" So you had your boy rooting you on, old golf ball Coe. But yeah, Coe, congratulations to me as well, sir.
Thanks, man. It's what happens when you just don't give up, man. I was working in that back all night long and trying to get the outside line going as usual, and it just kept getting pushed back and just kept digging and got in the right spot at the right time.
There you go. Well, Rick, I think there's just one more thing to do here before we get out of here and get ready to head over to Martinsville. What do you think?
Last but not least, Pete, we've got to give back to the fans. And it's the fans watching this that make everything possible. So from us, the broadcasters, the racers, and all the producers of this wonderful, wonderful programming we do, thank you so much. And tonight's winner of the $15 Xbox Live gift card, Tom Willoughby, 1971.
All right, so Tom Willoughby, you definitely recognize that name from the Fast Family League races. If you're out there in chat, please signal, say hey, say tell us to go where to go or whatever. If you want, just let us know if you're still there so we can get you the code for this scratch off. I'll actually pull up my stream here. And see if he's still here. Actually, Rick, it looks like he has abandoned us. You want to?
Oh.
Yep, you want to take a second try here?
Well, let's take a look. How about Robbie318? Robbie, if Robbie's available. Robbie318, our runner-up, I guess. Our runner-up winner in this competition. He wins that $15 gift card.
Robbie, are you out there? I know I saw you before. No dice. We're not in Vegas anymore, but I don't see Robbie.
No Robbie. Goodness, no Robbie, no Tom. All right, let's go through this list one more time. What about Rock NASCAR? Let's pick on Rock NASCAR. I'm sure he's available. He'd love to win this $15 gift card if he's in the chat.
Rock has been in chat all night long. Hopefully he's still there and isn't preparing for the next race to watch and post onto his Facebook community. Rock, are you still out there, buddy? He just congratulated Tom. Hey, there he is. So he says, thanks, but please donate for me. All right, Rock. Okay, so Rock, we can't take the code and do it that way. All right, Rock, I'll get with Papa Bear. Papa Bear can put it towards the diecast, and we'll figure out something else. But
Tom's getting back online.
What's that?
Sorry to interrupt, guys. Tom is getting back online. I just let him know.
Okay. All right. So if Tom's gonna do that, all right. So Rock, man, I absolutely appreciate you. Not only did you give away a year's subscription of Xbox Live last year to the NNR Cup Series champ, you're donating this Xbox $15 gift card. As always, sir, you are a gentleman and a scholar. Looking forward to seeing you out there when we head to Martinsville in just about 35 minutes. So thank you very much. Rick, any parting words for those guys out here?
What a race, Pete. What a race. What once again, I can't say enough about how much I love plate racing, especially when you get a good group of guys that can give a good hard race, but a clean race as well. And that's what we saw today. I'm proud of every last one of these drivers, and I'm thankful that I was a part of this show. Obviously, always thankful to be a part of your company as well, my friend. We got to take a break here, man. We got a show in a half hour.
Yeah, we absolutely do. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that as well. It's gonna be a little bit more intense. There's gonna be more on the line. Again, this is the final race in the quarterfinals for that XCLT or XLCT tournament that's been going on now for about 2 months. So only a few more races left. Again, after all that is done, when we get to the championship race, that is when that car will be raffled off. Definitely appreciate everybody out there, including you, Laser, for being the most recent person to put out that $10 or more towards those raffles. So absolutely appreciate it, guys. We'll see you in about just about a half hour. Rick James, thank you very much for coming along. Everybody on Twitter at I'm Rick James 36 or on Twitch twitch.tv/I'm Rick James 36. Give the man a like, give the man a follow. Puts on one hell of a stellar show. If you're not going to be around for Martinsville, as always, please stay safe, stay healthy, keep away from big crowds, wear your mask. We want to see you when all this COVID crap is gone, back at a track. Until then, later, y'all. Have a good night.